Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of Ron's coverage. And today, I would like to react to the whole premise that the U.S. is in World War III with Iran, and how this could lead to an all-out, full-scale war. And I'm going to tell you why it's not going to lead to World War III. The reason why I believe it's not going to lead to an all-out war, Iran engages more in a proxy war. Proxy war is when these countries recruit rebel groups to fight on their behalf. And that's the type of war, that's the type of style of military might that they utilize. I understand people's concerns about the situation, that this could potentially lead to an all-out war, but here's the reason why it's not. The U.S., Britain, Spain, Western Europe, the superpowers throughout the world engages in more conventional warfare, where we have troops on the ground. And that's not the type of war that Iran engages in. U.S. and Israel already unleashed drone strikes to several of Iran's nuclear and military bases. Iran has retaliated by attacking our military bases and the infrastructure of our partners. Now, our partners consist of the GCC, Gulf states. And we're in partnerships with them, and they supply us resources. Saudi Arabia sells their oil in the US dollar, called the petrodollar. Iran has a rivalry with the Gulf states because they have other proxy groups that fight on their behalf. Now, could it lead to US intervention, having boots on the ground? Yes, but I doubt it will come to that. We have military capabilities that they cannot match, that Iran cannot match. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has made the argument saying that the reason why Trump's military personnel and Israel attacked Iran was to prevent them from seizing a nuclear weapon. And we took out their nuclear site last summer. This is deterrence and prevention. Some may say that Israel has dragged us into their war, when I'll say it's not 100% their war because of the fact that we have resources, partnerships, and other interests in the Middle East. So it is our war. So once if we would let Iran create a nuclear weapon, they could have potentially attacked us. Because back in 1979, they had the Iran Revolution, and we had the Shah, who was the leader prior to the revolution in 1979. The Shah was real friendly to the U.S. and he gave us access to our resources. And since 1979, during the Iran hostage crisis, where he took 2 of American students hostage, and Jimmy Carter has failed to retaliate. But eventually the hostage was released when Reagan came into office. So fast forwarded to now, to where Obama brokered a deal with Iran called the Iran nuclear deal, so they could have the UN inspectors inspect their nuclear sites to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. And during that process, Iran would funnel the revenue that they acquired from selling the oil to their proxy groups, such as the Houthis, the Hezbollah and Hamas, who are responsible for attacking Israel, and also gave Iran a couple $1 billion so they could funnel that money to the terrorist groups. Their mission was to acquire Israel so that way they could have access to the resources. But Israel is friendly to the United States of America. So that's our allies. That's one of our allies in the Middle East. Iran has a long conflict with our allies in the Middle East via proxy groups. And our allies in the GCC and the Grand States, the Gulf states, have proxy groups that fight on their behalf. There's also a long-standing conflict of different Muslim groups rivaling each other in the Middle East. Just after World War II, and Israel became a state in the Middle East. Iran has a partnership with Russia and China where they supply each other military equipment and other economic resources, such as oil and gas and other energy sources. So Trump's aim was to cut off Russia and China's resources. It's the same way he did in Venezuela over a month or so ago. Because Venezuela was supplying China and Russia with resources. So his aim is to cut off China and Russia's resources. And that way the United States will remain supreme on the world stage. So this is a political chess move that Trump is enacting. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on the matter. You like this video? Hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I will catch you on my next video. Peace.